Assalamu alaikum everybody. My name is Raghda Ali. I'm a local realtor with Keller Williams Luxury International. Today I had a great meeting with my preferred Islamic financing company, Guidance. I think everybody has heard about it, but I wanted to make this quick video to introduce you to the great team that we have here helping us buy homes the Islamic way. Here I have Hussam Qutb, the Senior VP National Sales Manager, and I have Munzer Qtaish, who's the VP for the West Coast. And we have Raghda, our account executive, and she covers California. Welcome.
Thank you, Raghda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start by identifying some key differences. First of all, I want you to explain to our clients what is the difference between Islamic financing and the conventional financing that we have out there?
Absolutely. Raghda, thank you for having us. It's been a pleasure chatting with you a little bit about our program. Our program is really unique. It's incredibly different from anything that's out there in the marketplace. First of all, it's not a loan. Lending and borrowing at interest produces riba for Muslims. So in a different sort of method, we have structured a musharaka mutanaqisa, which is a diminishing co-ownership with our clients. And through that co-ownership, we're able to facilitate home ownership in a way that eliminates riba and also makes the journey for our customers a more consumer-friendly one, especially when it comes to certain things that may arise. And we're incredibly competitive with the marketplace as well. So it is a structured co-ownership rather than a loan, a lender agreement. And we've provided over $10 billion in financing through this unique structure. We've helped nearly 40,000 American Muslims around the country, including here in California.
Awesome. So from my background, I know that there are so many ways of financing the Islamic way. Are you the same like everybody else who's out there? I know there are a few companies that do Islamic financing. How different are you and how similar are you to them?
We're very different. We are unique. We're, I think, in a class of our own. We are not a subsidiary of a bank.
Yep.
Every other producer of Islamic finance, quote unquote, programs are owned by a bank, which is in the Western economic system. These are riba-based banks, and there's no question about that. Their structures are different than ours. We produce what's called a partnership, a co-ownership. That's a true co-ownership, a real co-ownership that actually has us in the property with the customer as co-owners of that property and taking on the risk with the consumer. So that is a major difference between us. We are an independent financial services company and not a bank.
You mentioned something really interesting. You said sharing the risk.
Yeah.
What does sharing the risk with the client mean?
This is what it means. When trouble arises, where things like somebody's making a late payment because perhaps they neglected to make it or they had some kind of hardship. In cases where we would have to default, there's a full default. Guidance has a non-recourse clause on every contract in every state, which means we won't pursue you for the loss, should there be a loss during that process. There are two cases where the contract is dissolved not because the customer didn't meet their obligation. One is natural disasters. Another is eminent domain. In both cases, should there be a loss from the proceeds that we receive from the insurance company or government in those scenarios, we would actually share in the loss equal to the proportion of ownership we have at that time. There's no other institution, no financing institution in the United States today that takes on that kind of loss with their customers. It's always when trouble arises, does a bank then decide, were we a lender, which means we want our money back, all of it, no matter what, plus interest, plus late fees, or were we a co-owner? And in our case, we're a true co-owner. We do share in those losses. We've done so for the last 20 years with our customers, and it goes back to solidifying our role in this transaction, in this contract, as a true co-owner.
So for everybody out there, when there is a natural disaster and the home is destroyed, or when there is eminent domain, regular banks would come after you to get their money back, versus guidance residential, they share the loss with you. That's a huge difference. And that brings me to a point. Your product is not just for Muslims, it's just adding an extra layer of protection so everybody can use it. It's not just for Muslims. Do you have non-Muslim clients?
Absolutely, and I think you're absolutely. We have many customers who are non-Muslims, and they are participating in our program, and we have served more than 40,000 families across the United States, and many of them are non-Muslims. It's not only for Muslims. This is targeting the Muslim community because they are sensitive when it comes to riba and so on. But it's always actually we have served many non-Muslims customers as well.
That's a great point. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about some of the myths out there.
Sure.
When I talk to buyers, a lot of them would come with pre-assumption that Islamic financing is probably more complicated of a process, or closing escrow would take longer. What is your point of view on that?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, it is a myth, unfortunately, and there's a number of myths that are out there, and we encourage your listeners, your followers, to actually inquire, to learn, to not listen to essentially the rumors that are out there, because many of them are not true. We are as efficient as any other financing institution out there. We have closed buyers. We've closed those who are trying to refinance in days. We've had buyers close in a matter of 10 days, as long as all their documentation and their information is into our underwriters. We have an army of underwriters ready to work with them. From a pricing perspective, we're incredibly competitive. So we benchmark our cost for usage of the property against anything that's out there today, and we monitor that 2 or 3 times a day to make sure we're competitive. So our ranking on Google reviews is nearly 5. We're just under 5. We've, again, as Munder mentioned, we've served tens of thousands of folks, and the majority of which have come back to us and are happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned something about not being more expensive. How do you compare to regular banks and what they charge for a loan?
A bank will charge you for loaning you money, and they'll charge you an interest rate. Now, they're in the business of facilitating homeownership. We're in the business of facilitating homeownership. We're both in finance, but they're using a contract that's incompatible with Islam, the loan. Since we don't have a loan, we have what's called a co-ownership commitment agreement. In that agreement, it states that the customer will have exclusive use of the home, even the portion they don't yet own. Our portion, for example, if it's a 90-10 ownership, we're 90%, the customer is 10% owner. That 90%, we're allowing the customer to live in, of course. We're not going to live with the consumer in the home. So we would charge usage on that 90%, and that usage fee that we charge, we benchmark it to be competitive. We benchmark it with whatever the cost of financing out there through a loan is. It doesn't make it riba because we're literally charging our customers a fee for usage. And each month that the customer makes a payment, they're owning more, we're owning less, and so we're charging less on the second and the third and the fourth month and so on. So it's a declining usage fee, but we look at that very closely every day to make sure we're competitive with whatever the cost of homeownership through a conventional bank and such.
So the way that it's like we bench our prices compared to whatever is in the market, basically, we try to be very competitive. As I mentioned, we look at the pricing 2 to 3 times a day to make sure that we are within, the the market basically range and so on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So Munder, tell
Yeah.
us, if somebody who's listening to us right now thinking about buying a home in 2023, what is the process like to apply with you and to apply for your services?
Oh, very simple. All what we need from you, 5 items. Okay, 2 years taxes, 2 years W-2s, 2 months bank statement, copy of your ID, and last your 30 days bank paycheck. We run your credit report. We see your liabilities and we compare that of how much you want to put down payment, and we tell you how much you get pre-approved. And we connect you with one of you. If you don't have a realtor, we connect you with a real estate agent like you, Raghda, and you go and shop, and we close on your home within less than 30 days. Definitely, most our closing happens usually within 20 days. Also, based on the agreement and the purchase agreement that we follow the purchase agreement.
So hearing that, it doesn't sound complicated or very complex. The requirements are the same or similar to what you would provide to conventional lenders. Same requirement. It takes them probably shorter time to review. They have an army of underwriters to look at your file and provide you feedback and help you get qualified. So anyone who's thinking about buying a home anytime soon, reach out to me or to Raghda directly, and we'll be able to guide you through the process. And I'll take this opportunity actually to share or announce our event on Friday, which is going to happen in Orange County in Mission Viejo Masjid. That is going to be on Friday at 7 p.m., where we're having a seminar to educate people and talk probably about specifics, about the people who are attending. They will learn more about the program. They will connect with us and will be able to answer any questions that they have. So if you're interested in joining, go ahead and just join us at the masjid in Mission Viejo, 7 p.m. on Friday, or let us know, Raghda or I, on social media. Is there anything you would like to add at the end of our video today?
No, I really would like to thank you, Raghda, for inviting us to your office. It was great meeting you here in your beautiful office, which looks at the mountains, which is very, very nice. And in this, you can see the sun for Hassam. I think he's coming visiting us from Virginia, which is they don't see the sun that much. But definitely, we're looking forward to work with you, Raghda, and with your team, and we are more than happy to help you work and with your customers and educate them about the program and how to help them, inshallah, to get in ownership in home ownership as well.
Thank you, Munder.
Raghda, thank you so much for having us, and we look forward to anyone who's able to attend the seminar we'll be holding that you mentioned in Mission Viejo. We'll go into a lot more depth than we did on this video. A lot more details will be provided in terms of the difference between guidance and conventional banks, and even those conventional banks that claim to be providing Islamic financial structured mortgages. There are major differences, and the public needs to understand those differences to really feel the peace of mind that they are looking for when buying a home. So we'll get into all of those specifics, and I welcome anyone who wants to learn something immediate to visit our website, guidanceresidential.com. That's guidanceresidential.com, where you'll find a plethora of information about our company and our program and how it works. And we're an educational company. I think you'll see dozens and dozens of videos, short videos, long videos, even white papers on how we operate. And I think the more the better for the consumer. So join us, and if you can't join us, definitely visit our website.
Absolutely.
Assalamu alaikum. It is an honor to work with you, Raghda. And we have, mashallah, today our director of the sale, national director of the sale, and our regional Munder Qutais for the West Coast area. Our goal is not to confuse you, because my name is Raghda and Raghda. So we are just trying, really, our goal is to help our community to accomplish this ownership, bi'Iznillah, and to work with you very closely. And I know Raghda for like 3 years now, inshallah, and I will be very happy to assist everybody, inshallah, accomplish their goals. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank
you for having us.